Hello again, this is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today. We have got just a short update here on the Lucky case. I know a lot of you are out there looking at the Lucky case, and I think a comment that frequently comes up is, why is Melinda Lawrence looking so upset? Well, maybe this, I think, will help to answer some of it. Today is August 4th, 2023, and there is an appeal at the Wisconsin Court of Appeals for the original Lucky discharge. That's been heard at the Circuit Court. Mr. Lucky lost there, and we'll get into some details about why that might have been. And then it's now in front of the Wisconsin Court of Appeals, and the county, their due date to answer is apparently today. So because of that reason, we're going to sort of back up here and talk about Mr. Lucky and where he's at. They terminated him. He was unrepresented by me at that time. I filed an appeal to the Circuit Court, which caused a bunch of issues there because they didn't know how to do it, apparently. And then they finally was heard after quite some time, almost this time last year, is I think when I was writing. Wow, I was in Denmark writing this about exactly this time last year. Wow. So all that happened. And this is to the Circuit Court judge, we were writing that. And as you also know, there is a separate case, or may know, Equal Rights Division. So this is a discrimination case for Mr. Lucky against the county for how they were treating him while he was working there. Okay. In the course of that, we got discovery, and we got a few things, and we got, way after all this was filed, we got some documents from Miss Lawrence. And in those documents, there are communications between the attorneys for the Personnel Review Board, who's supposedly independent, and the county's corporation counsel, and others, describing a conversation between the Hush Blackwell attorneys and the clerk for the municipal court, the Circuit Court judge there. And in these discussions, they talk about the fact that originally the county was going to have to pay for the transcript of the hearing, but then the county had a discussion with the county, and then they didn't have to pay for the transcripts. Now, what's interesting about that fact is that we didn't know anything about it. Mr. Lucky didn't know anything about these conversations, these communications. I certainly didn't know about these communications. When we found out that the court decided kind of out of nowhere from our perspective that Mr. Lucky had to pay for these transcripts, well, we filed a motion with the court to reconsider. I put out law. We did a motion, and we'll read all that. We'll get you the actual documents, I'm sure. And lo and behold, the court refused to reconsider. It had already made its decision that Mr. Lucky would have to pay for a transcript of the hearing in which the county terminated him if he was going to exercise his statutory right to appeal that. Which, of course, the statute also says that the county is the one responsible for producing the record. So that seemed a little bit strange that Mr. Lucky was all of a sudden responsible for that. Well, during that hearing, and this was a hearing on the record, the judge never mentioned these communications between the court and the county never mentioned these claims. The PRB or the county, however you want to look at it, never mentioned these communications at all. We had no idea. But Melinda Lawrence, she sent us those communications. So I think that is, in a nutshell, maybe the reason why Melinda Lawrence doesn't like Ben Hitchcock Cross. And I think that's probably fair because we have now raised that issue with the Court of Appeals, and they have to answer that today. Precisely why did they have these conversations with the court, these communications? Why were they discussing them? Why do they say that those communications are somehow privileged? And why did it turn out to be the fact that apparently there was communication, but nobody, including the court, saw fit to do that? There's one other fact that I need to bring to light here, which is we filed the documents with the court. The documents that show these communications between the county and the court. The court entered them into the record. but the documents themselves, the actual information, is not redacted. It's just not there. So if you were to look into that court case today, you would see, even in the appeals court, you would see there nothing that would indicate that these conversations happened. So that's a bit troubling, frankly, but that is the evidence that we have now before the appeals court. So another twist in Lucky, another set of documents that appeared when they probably shouldn't have, and possibly then, again, a reason why Melinda Lawrence's favorite person is not Ben Hitchcock Cross. But again, Ben Hitchcock Cross did not have secret communications. We call those ex parte. So it's not so much that they're secret, but the big issue is I didn't communicate with the court without telling the other side. I didn't continue to not tell the other side while there was a motion pending. I didn't then, after the motion was heard, tell the other side the actual facts of the communications. I didn't do that and only reveal them in discovery. I didn't do that. Ben Hitchcock Cross did not do those things. Somebody else did them. So, hey, that's how it goes. Stick with us. We'll keep you informed.